All right, let's do it live on a Matchup Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you living, buddy? How about this weather, dude?
It's great.
Look at it out there. It's glorious. Sun-kissed.
How about it started off at 45 this morning?
I loved it.
It's great.
I
A little
had
crispness.
open windows. I had open windows.
All night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like
Bring
it cold.
Bring it in, baby.
I like it cold.
It's not going to get the whole house down to 45. You leave them open. It's fine. You're safe. I woke up, I think it was like 66. Threw the kids some
Promotes a
gloves.
nice under the blanket snuggling. Yeah, it's good.
The kids come down like they're walking onto the surface of the moon. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not that. You're fine.
Frozen tundra.
In their little blankets. Blanket, Daddy. More porridge.
More porridge. Come on, sir.
Oh, boy. We hit the practice field at 1:35 today. We're awaiting Jim Schwartz at the podium. Unfortunately, a incredible bout of sad news and just pure suck,
Tell
quite
me about
honestly. In the last 20 minutes, defensive end Alex Wright announcing on his Instagram page that he'll miss the rest of the season with a torn tricep. My
Start your boards over, Zagura.
goodness.
Start them over.
Can we be healthy
Give
for
it. I
a
got to tell you,
month?
unfortunately, that's an easy one. It's just a red X.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I got to do. Yeah, that's a big loss. He had been playing very well. We talked about 5 sacks in the last 8 games. Our 1 win. By the way, I'm wearing this to try to bring back winning Sawgrass.
Yeah, Sawgrass, good luck. I like it. I like where your head's at.
He had the safety in that game. So
And then joined us in studio.
and was delightful.
Pure delight.
It's that is a bummer. He has really come a long way. It's his 3rd season. And now, he goes into his 4th and final season. I think that had he continued on the trajectory he was on, you could have said to yourself, Alex Wright probably can start for us opposite Myles Garrett next year. That's what he was drafted to do, be the big end in this defense. So that's a tough one. Now, the good news is the guy that played as well as anybody on the defensive line last week was Isaiah McGuire, and so he was a 4th-round pick. You're going to get to see what Isaiah McGuire can do. He forced the fumble, had the tackle for a loss, and then you got Miles, Zadarius, Obo, and McGuire. So it's still a room where you're in pretty good shape, honestly.
Yeah.
But definitely that's a blow, and it's very unfortunate going into a game against a team with this kind of talent.
Yeah, and the other part of it is that Miles isn't 100% Miles. Like, he's not able to play the amount of snaps he normally plays because he's dealing with a lot. So because of that, and now you lose somebody else in that room, and this was a major contributor in the room and an impact player in the room, and so now it's just one more on a series of them. It's been a brutal start to the year. It was brutal last year. It's brutal again this year on the injury front.
Yeah, no doubt, and you're exactly right about it. The good news with Miles last week was 75% of the snaps. Now, it didn't feel like it when I was watching it, but that's what it was, 75% of the snaps. So you hope that if he can stay at that level, that's good. Zadarius only played 30 of 59 last week. You want to see that number get up for him. Obo played 20, Alex Wright 20, McGuire 14. So McGuire's going to pick up, obviously, some more reps there in a game where, boy, you really hope that you can get after the quarterback, but so far it really hasn't mattered. Like I said, he's number 1 in the league against pressure. He's number 2 in the league against the blitz. So tall task, tall order. But, yeah, this is a team. Think about our original defense and what we thought, let's say, going into week 1. Mike Hall we haven't seen.
Nope.
Wright
Won't see him this week either.
Alex Wright's now out for the year. Mm-hmm. In the linebacking room, Tony Fields and Mahmoud Diabate have been out since week 1.
Yep.
And now Hicks is banged up.
Yep.
On the back end, Thornhill's been on IR since week 1. It's like,
he hadn't even played.
And he was very good in that game. He was one of the few bright spots in that game
Yep.
against Dallas. He hasn't played. Denzel barely played against Jacksonville, but he's been phenomenal. Just so many, a lot of injuries, and yet this team obviously should be doing a lot better than it is, and the go time is now. I know that they are trying to do everything they can to make sure that they are as focused and as prepared and as ready to execute as possible and get when I say much needed, I mean I think it's a critical game to win for the Cleveland Browns.
The margin for error is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely gone. Yeah, you ate it up with the disappointing events of the last couple of weeks. And so, you have to start stacking wins. There is a scenario here where Cincinnati is playing Baltimore this weekend. Cincinnati 1-3. if Cincinnati wins that game, then you're staring up at both of them. 1-4 is so much to try to track down. And if you were playing the schedule game at the beginning, you would have said Giants, Raiders, Commies, dub. And you have a chance of going over on that stretch. And the schedules only get more difficult going forward, all the while to say that this game here a month ago didn't look like this. But that's how – this is the surprise team of the National Football League along with Minnesota. I think there is even something a little bit more surprising about this from the standpoint of how great Daniels has been.
Historically great.
Historically great. And you could talk yourself into – rookie quarterbacks get hot. You could see yourself talking into that a little bit. Or I'm sorry, rather, Darnold getting hot in Minnesota. You could see that because of the knowledge we had of the way that others have felt about him. And you knew they had a bunch of other talent. We were here. They were here. We saw them.
Yep.
This operation with Daniels is out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, on some level, right? You knew that he was going to be good, or you thought he would be good. He was the number 2 overall pick. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. But was that anything that was necessarily indicative of 100% future success? No. The fact that he's doing something over a 4-game stretch in terms of completion percentage that's never been done, the fact that he's doing something from a leading the league in completion percentage and rushing touchdowns as a quarterback hasn't been done in 30 years.
Yeah.
His team has 23 touchdowns and 19 incompletions. That's something where your team has more touchdowns than incompletions. It hasn't been done in 50 years. It's the greatest 4-game stretch any quarterback's ever had.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson's the only quarterback ever to have a 4-game stretch where over 70% completions and 35 yards rushing every game in the history of the league.
That's right.
And he did that
once a lot of games, yeah.
for 4 games in 2019 when he was the MVP of the league.
Yeah, and it's all of that's hard to even put into proper context, but then also at the time this was an uninspiring head coaching hire in Dan Quinn. Nobody thought, okay, they crushed that. It's like, wait, they're going to run back Dan Quinn?
They've got a pretty cool staff.
They do. I want to get to that. And nobody thought that Kingsbury, the hire, that was largely laughed off.
Yep.
Like that was a total afterthought. The staff, though, is an intriguing staff. Go ahead.
Yeah, they've got Joe Witt is the defense coordinator. Joe Witt was with us. Ken Norton Jr., linebacker. John Pagano is the senior assistant. And then on the offensive side, it's Cliff Kingsbury, Bobby Ingram, the former Seahawks receiver, Anthony Lynn, former head coach of the Chargers. He's the run game coordinator. And I'll tell you what, there's a good reason why they're so good running the ball. So those are some very familiar names, obviously guys who played in the league or have coached in the league at a high level. So, yeah, it's a good staff. And this is a team right now that is easily one of the most pleasant surprises of the early season. I mean, I don't think there's a question about it.
No. And they've been fun. They're fun to watch. The kids, just hopefully not on Sunday when we get a chance to go at them. As I mentioned, we will get into the matchups, our defense versus that lightning fast Commanders offense and everything that Jaden Daniels brings to the table. We're awaiting Jim Schwartz at the podium. In the meantime, some injury news out of Washington. Brian Robinson,
sounds like he's making his way
the talented running back, and Cleveland Farrell did not practice yesterday. Marcus Mariota did return to practice, and then Austin Eckler was limited yesterday. Sounds like Coach could be approaching the
Farrell
podium.
Was out last week. He's been dealing with a knee injury. That's not surprising. I wonder if they're just giving Robinson some rest.
Here is Coach Schwartz at the podium.
You're down.
Everybody ready? Okay.
How's as the quarterback run, the quarterback option has become more prevalent the last decade or so? How has the defensive adjustments to that, advanced and evolved in that same time period?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously been going on for a while. I think we were talking about it this week. I think it was maybe 2006 that I think we started seeing it in the NFL with some of the stuff. It had been in college a little bit earlier than that, but we started seeing some bleed over. And what it does is just an extra guy to account for. A lot of times in 8-man front, you got 8, they got 7, and you should be in pretty good position against the run. When you have to factor in the quarterback, then it's a different story. But that being said, you always had to account for some quarterbacks going back to Fran Tarkenton and, Eddie LeBaron and those guys way back in the day. You had to account for them on scrambles. So that was an extra layer. and really using the quarterback as a run. It was under center, but the Mike Shanahan, Alex Gibbs stretch run game with those dudes, running those boots at full speed. Whether it was Jake Plummer or Michael Vick, put a lot of pressure on the defense, and that was a guy that broke a lot of that was a scheme that broke a lot of your rules. Used to be, defensive ends would climb to the depth of the quarterback, but then they'd kill you on the cutback run if you did that. So you started closing. Well, then it made you more susceptible to the boot. So, just like anything, there's a lot of things that sort of come in trend and out of trend. But I would say this, it forces you, and not just the quarterback run, but the RPO. It's a run, but it's also a pass. So it just forces defenses to have to defend 53 1/3 yards, the width of the field, in addition to all the run gaps also.
Alex Wright posts that he's going to have tricep surgery and is out for the year. So just how unfortunate to lose him this early, and how have you seen him grow these last couple of years?
Yeah, I'll sort of defer to Kevin on talking about injuries and things like that. So I don't want to comment on that. I will comment on the guys that we do have. It's just opportunity for other guys to step up, particularly a guy like Isaiah McGuire, who has played some really good snaps in a limited role, and be able to get to see that role possibly expanded and give some more opportunities for some guys. Some veteran players like Za'Darius and Alex Obo, they got to give us good pressure, and they got to be able to help make up for those things. Be a physical presence, be a guy that rushes the passer well. We expect that from all our guys, and the guys that'll be out there, it gives them great opportunity. Isaiah, Sam Kamara, in their roles, they played really well when it comes to like grading out. I think one was like 17 of 18, the other one was like 11 of 12 or 12 of 13, or it was something like that. So it gives them a chance to expand those roles and get more production with more playing time.
What did you think the issues with the run defense were against the Raiders? Miles mentioned maybe they were attacking the edges and going after the back end a little bit.
Yeah, everybody wants to attack our edges. I thought probably the biggest things in the game, we got a thing that I try to guard against. We got way too antsy when we had them backed up at the end of the first half. And instead of doing our job, we were trying to make a safety. And when we did that, we jumped out of a gap and we got gashed in the run game, and we let them off the hook. So there was that. There was a couple of times some interior gaps either got blocked or got vacated. I think when it was all said and done, that was probably a little bit more. And then the third down run, the 3rd and 10 run, which put them in a position to score a touchdown. And you look back on that game, I think there were like 3 really critical plays. We had a 3rd down, had a really good rush and coverage, and hit the quarterback, and we're off the field, probably forcing a punt, and we hit the quarterback in the head, which is the second time in the last couple of weeks we do, and it gives them 15 yards, keeps the drive alive, and they get a field goal off of that. So we're talking 3 points there. And then we have a 3rd and 10 where they're already in field goal range, but it's a fairly long field goal, whatever, it's in the 40s, whatever it is. And they run the ball just to sort of solidify the field goal, and we missed 3 tackles, give up a first down, and they get a touchdown. So that's basically a 4-point play there. So there's 7 points in the game. And then you combine that with getting squirrely on the backed up, where we couldn't resist the urge to try to do too much, and we tried to get a safety instead of playing good team defense, forcing a punt. And now maybe the offense has whatever it would have been, 20 seconds left or whatever, ball around midfield to try to kick a long field goal. So when it was all said and done, I really think the game came down to those 3, and there were critical mistakes by us, and it cost us the game.
Be like 2 quarters of sloppy tackling. You corrected it, but those 2 quarters were very destructive to that game.
Yeah, I'd say, Tony, it's probably more than just sloppy tackling. We have generally been a couple series of sloppy play, And, we shouldn't have to get kicked in the teeth to start playing, because when we do start playing, whatever, the last 2.5 quarters against Dallas, ridiculously. I mean, but you can't erase those series before that. Giants, fumble, punt, miss field goal, like really good stuff. And same thing with this, like getting the ball back for our offense, scoring on defense. But that gets erased by the sloppy play. And until we get that consistency, we're going to play like a 1-3 football team, and we're playing like a 1-3 defense right now.
That every year is different. You got to come starting from square one. But what's maybe one thing that you really liked about last year that hasn't necessarily transferred or carried over to this season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably just try to concentrate more on this year and what we are. And I think Tony probably sounded like you guys were in the meeting this week when it came to run defense and consistency of play. I mean, you guys are seeing the same thing that we're seeing. Our guys need to respond to that. And, a good football team is defined by how well they tackle. And we've been inconsistent in that area. We've had opportunities to either create some 3rd and longs, get off the field on some 3rd downs, and we've failed on those in those situations. And those are things that we have to address as we go, and not just address, but we have to correct, and we have to respond the right way and play better.
It's like Isaiah McGuire is starting to establish himself as maybe a big hitter. I mean, the forced fumble was a nice play by him.
Yeah. During the game, I thought that was Jeremiah. Because Jeremiah came in and made the hit, and my eyes went to saw that and saw the ball out, and it wasn't until I saw the replay afterwards. We were getting ready for the next series, but it was like, I don't know if Jeremiah made that. But Jeremiah made a great play. Isaiah made a really good play. Rodney McLeod made a really good play. You see Rodney pick the ball up, but his ability to set the edge on that, it was a blitz off the edge, and he was the blitzer, and he got the offensive tackle. And he was able to stymie that, which allowed those other guys to make it. Sorry, I preempted your question.
No, it just looks like Isaiah seems poised to kind of step up into maybe this bigger opportunity he's probably going to get.
Yeah, check. We need him to. We need all hands on deck. We need everybody to play well, and the greatest reward is the opportunity to do more. And I think he's earned that. He's played physical football for us. He's been slippery in his pass rush, and he'll get more opportunities.
Follow up what you were saying about the tackling. Like, what do you think has led to maybe some of that inconsistency so far?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are a little bit different. I mean, I think in general we need to take one extra step and not go off the diving board, so to speak, like a little too much ankle grabbing and stuff like that. Generally, your correction is one more step. You tackle with your feet as much as anything. A lot of people talk about tackling and wrapping up and shoulders and things like that. You tackle with your feet. You put your feet on the ball carrier, and we need to take one more step. There's been a couple where it's just been leverage problem and balls cut back on us. But those have probably been the biggest things. And I think this came up last year too. When you play good team defense and you run to the ball and you play with great effort, a lot of those missed tackles disappear. You still have them, but the second guy goes and cleans it up, and that's what we really need to put the emphasis on. It's a little bit of technique, it's a little bit of leverage, but we want to also see better team response to it, I guess. I don't know the best way to put it, but there's a couple different ways we can address it. And if you're flying around and the next guy's coming in, nobody notices that a guy missed tackle because the next guy's there to clean it up for 1 yard. I think we gave up I want to say 67, I can't remember, but 67 yards after first contact in this last game. And that's not playing physical football.
When you look at the Commanders' offense with Jaden Daniels and their threats in the run and pass game, what stands out to you as areas you guys are focusing on?
I missed that last part of it.
Like, what areas in the run and pass game with Jaden Daniels as well that you guys are focusing on as a defense?
Yeah, I mean, he just has really good command. I mean, they punted 4 times in 4 games. 2 games haven't punted. I mean, that'll get your attention really quickly. He's been very efficient with the ball. He really understands the RPO, zone read world. it's not, I mean, something he's done, played a lot of college football in a very similar situation. So you see that comes up, and his legs, make a difference. We're going to do third down today. And, he's converted, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 40% of their third downs on scrambles. So it just adds a little bit more, and he hasn't made mistakes with the football. He's playing really well for a rookie. We got to play tight coverage. We got to be in our gaps, and we have to tackle well on the perimeter, and they'll challenge all of those things.
Place on forcing takeaways, or is your priority just like sound defense, getting off the field, and maybe that coming as a result of that?
Yeah, we've talked about that ad nauseum in the past. I think that anytime you start pressing to try to make plays, you can end up hurting yourself, and I'll reference that backed up play. We got a safety against Jacksonville, and it was good defense. This was like, let me go make a play here, and then try to cause a turnover. I mean, a safety's a turnover, and you can get yourself in trouble if you play physical, relentless, sound football. Your turnovers will come. And you don't make every opportunity, but over the course of time, they will. If you don't play consistent responsibility football, and you don't play physical, and you don't play tenacious, you won't get those. You won't get those plays. I was proud of the guys getting that fumble. Got us back in the game. We were able to get the ball back a couple of times. I really felt like we were going to win that game on that last drive. But sometimes you do have to guard against more, or guys trying to do too much. Let's play better within our scheme. Let's not try to go outside the scheme just to sometimes get some fool's gold when it comes to those plays.
Earlier that it shouldn't take a kick in the teeth for you guys to lock in that focus. Why do you think it has taken these wake up calls to get going?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Daniels has gone to Cincinnati and Arizona, outplayed Burrow and Murray. It's not like their defense and special teams won those games, so I'm impressed that a rookie could go on the road and beat two number one quarterbacks at their own game.
Yeah, he's in a scheme that fits him really well. He understands, uses all 53 in the third. He can make plays with his leg. He's been a very accurate passer. He puts pressure on you on third down with the passing, but also the running and the scrambling. So all those things equal good play, and it gets our guys' attention. We twice a year we play Lamar Jackson, who has some very similar capabilities. So we know what it takes to stop that thing. We know how bad you can look if you let your guard down for 1 minute with guys like that. And it won't be any surprise for us when number 5's out there. Okay? Yeah. I think I could have hit better.
All right, there you go, Jim Schwartz at the podium. If you are sitting there, whether you're watching us on the YouTube or you were driving around when that was going on, and you heard an Eddie LeBaron reference,
Eddie LeBaron,
it caught our attention too. Eddie LeBaron, it's a hell of a life. He was an American Korean War veteran, United States Marine officer, professional football player. He played quarterback for the National Football League and in the CFL. He was with the Washington Redskins for two different stints, 52 to 53 and then 55 to 59. There was that very natural 1 year where he played for the Calgary Stampeders. So he went Redskins, Stamps, Skins, and then Dallas Cowboys for 3 years after that. General manager of the Atlanta Falcons from 1977 to 1981, born in Stockton, California, which is not far from where you grew up as well. And you knew a LeBaron in high school.
And Eddie LeBaron.
Had to be.
You would think, yeah, at Moreau
some
Catholic High
sort
School.
Of connection.
And
right?
he was a tremendous athlete. And as I told you, we used to have like a dunk contest at one of our rallies.
Yeah.
And he was a very good athlete and had a couple of good dunks, and then went for maybe a higher degree of difficulty, right into the rim, fell down, broke his wrist, out for the season. And he was a big part of, obviously, the program. So
that's kind of the end of that.
By the way, no more dunk contests.
That's the end of the dunk contest. Yeah. We're not doing that.
I never got to participate in one. Not that I would have had much to do. I didn't really reach my dunking peak
That
until
happened much later.
in college.
The
I could do like a 1 leg, 1 foot Rex Chapman. That was it. I could only dunk from left wing to the middle, or right wing baseline. That was it.
I rattled one in my senior year with a women's ball that snuck in, and that
counts.
That's I don't know.
No, by like in college, I was able to like start doing flips and two hands, and
then you could get it.
Well, now I can't jump more than 2 inches off the ground.
Yeah, men were 40. LeBaron ended up becoming a football announcer for CBS Sports from 66 to 71, and then went back to school, got the general manager job with Atlanta from 77 to 82, and executive vice president from 83 to 85. Passed away April 1st, 2015, and that was a day in the life of Eddie LeBaron.
There it is.
It's a hell of a name. I have a feeling
name.
that kid had to be related. I see no scenario how he isn't somehow
It would make
related.
sense that he would be.
His name's Eddie. Like, come on.
So he's probably
maybe a grandson.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like how old he would be. Eddie LeBaron is probably, I'm guessing, 6 to 10 years older than me.
So then it's possible that he could be.
He was older than when I was a kid. It's like when I was a kid, with my father was nerd. He was the dean. He was the dean.
Let me just see. So, born in 1930 was this Eddie LeBaron. This is so amazing where we end up on this show.
Yeah,
so great. Would have put him.
It was interesting.
Would
He
have
drops
put
in
him
Eddie
in
LeBaron
his. Yeah, but would have put him in his 50s.
Yeah, in his 50s.
So he could have been Eddie LeBaron Jr. It's not impossible.
I feel like I would have known that. I'm going to ask my dad right now.
Get Pedro on the phone. Let's see if there's any relationship between the two. I look forward to your response on that, to his response on that. All right, coming up next, we hit the matchup phrase of it. Before we get that, I should do this business. That was from the podium with Jim Schwartz. It was presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Additionally, we hooked up your hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals, the official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, we hit the first part of our matchup, our defense versus this red-hot Commanders offense. It's coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Now's your chance to be inches away from your favorite players. They take on some big-time opponents. Field Seats, Huntington Bank Field, put you close and up close and personal with the thrill of the game. Limited quantities are available, so get them now before they're gone. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/fieldseats to secure your spot.
Just
now.
blew me a kiss.
The G-Man did? Jeez, Gabriel. What is Gabriel doing? Let Gabriel watch. Let the boy watch what is consecrated.
Whatever he wants. Whatever he wants.
The G-Man.
Blowing kisses, shaking hands. Real politician.
Really's got it all sorted out. Are you ready for the matchup? Our defense versus their offense?
I am ready.
All right. For that, we turn it over to Dr. Z.
It's not a stretch to say that this is the best offense in the NFL. And why would I say such a thing? Well, they're averaging 3.6 points per drive. That's the most in the NFL. They have 23 scoring drives, most in the NFL. They only have 19 incomplete passes fewest, 4 punts fewest, and 1 giveaway. So if you were to add up their incomplete passes and punts, it's the same as their number of scoring drives. So they've been incredible, right? I mean, bottom line, they've been great. Jaden Daniels, we've talked about the historic things that he has done in terms of his completion percentage, which is the best over any 4-game stretch of any quarterback in the history of the National Football League, 82.1%. It's the highest in a team's first 4 games of the season. It is also, he ranks first in completion percentage, 4th in yards per attempt, 3rd in rating, 2nd with rushing yards, 1st with rush TDs. Those numbers for rushing yards, rush TD are amongst quarterbacks only. 70% completions, 35 or more rushing yards in each of his first 4 NFL games. This is crazy. He is the first player, rookie or otherwise, since 1970 with 20-plus pass attempts and an 85-plus% completion percentage in consecutive games. He did that weeks 2 and week 3. I mean, the guy is, it's nuts. It's nuts. Last 2 games, Daniels himself personally has accounted for 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing, and thrown just 6 incompletions. He's 47 for his last 53 passing. So you're like, oh, man, they must be loaded. Well, they're not really. They're not at all. Terry McLaurin is a 1-time Pro Bowler. Zach Ertz, their tight end, is a 3-time Pro Bowler, but like last in 2018.
Yeah.
He's past his prime, but still a fine player. Their number 2 receiver, by stats, their number 2 receiver is Olamide Zaccheaus.
All right.
Undrafted free agent from Virginia. He played for the Falcons. He actually had that big catch against us at the end of that game from Mariota, like a 50-yarder. They've got Luke McCaffrey, their 3rd-round pick this year. He's got 7
Christian's
catches.
brother, yeah.
Yep. Noah Brown, 9 catches for 111 yards, former Buckeye. That's their team, but they can also run it. In addition to Daniels, 218 yards rushing, Brian Robinson Jr. has 307 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 4.7 yards per carry. He's already got 2 games with 100 or more this year. And 2 games with under 40 yards. It's interesting. He's been feast or famine, but he had 1 game with more than 100 yards rushing prior to this season. They also brought in Austin Eckler, who's 13.4 yards per catch, leads all running backs this season. Eckler, as you may remember from the Chargers, and fantasy football players certainly remember, Austin Eckler led the NFL in total touchdowns in 21 and 22. He's got 3 seasons with 1,500-plus total yards under his belt. And so far this season, he's averaging 6.4 yards a carry, 13 yards a catch, and has already had a kick return called back due to a penalty. Last week when he was out, Jerry McNichols filled in, and all he did was run 8 times for 68 yards and a touchdown, 8.5 yards a carry. So they're getting it done. Part of the reason their offensive line is number 2. Number 2.
Pretty good.
Is now the sign in their pass blocking efficiency.
Who wears number 2?
Who wears number 2? De'Ami Brown. He's very fast. Who's fast? Number 5, Jaden Daniels. Very fast. 218 yards rushing this season. He's a stud. Yeah, Jaden Daniels, he is the sign right now.
He is the sign, yeah.
So this is a team, stylistically, what you're going to see, a lot of 2 tight ends. Zach Ertz played 49 snaps last week out of 72. John Bates, the other tight end, played 40. Ben Sinnott, their 2nd-round pick out of Kansas State, he played another 30. So tight ends played a ton of snaps in this one. My quick math would tell me that's 119 snaps for tight ends since they played 72. You do the math. You realize that there had to be 2 tight ends on the field.
Yep.
More than half the time. So You're going to see that. Their receivers, when they're in a 2-receiver set, it's going to be McLaurin and Noah Brown. McLaurin, he needs 3 catches for 400 in his career. He has scored each of the last 2 weeks. He was the Pro Bowler. He's got 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's the main guy there. Now, going to give a quick. So McLaurin's got 2 receiving touchdowns.
Yep.
Daniels has thrown 3. Do you think you could name the other person who's caught a touchdown for the Washington Commanders? Gabe, I'm asking you.
G-Man.
He went to grab lunch.
Unbelievable. We're doing a show.
Well, he's been going nonstop since 10.
That's what
That's all right.
That's
That's
what
part of the
commercial
job.
breaks
That's
are
the
for.
commercial breaks. Go get your snacks
He
in the
blows
breaks.
a kiss, walks in here, and blows right back out to get food?
Yeah.
Did you tell him to get the elk
Also,
or the venison?
I didn't.
Venison is good.
Was it deer or was it elk?
It was no. Yesterday was elk. Today was venison.
Today's venison.
and it was delicious, and it was medium rare,
Oh, baby.
which is exactly how meat should be.
I've
enjoyed.
noticed there's been an uptick.
No doubt. A
little bit of an uptick.
Times are a
The
changing.
times they are a changing.
Lavelle today was in a suit.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
And Holly was like, "Why are you wearing that suit?" He's like, "Just to show how much I love my job."
Dude, that's my man.
Oh man, there is a spring in
There's
the
a
step,
little
and you
bounce.
can taste the love in the food. It's true.
I don't doubt it.
100%.
It's true. All right,
So
back
new
to
day
it.
is
Here we go.
dawn.
New day is dawn. By the way,
yeah.
their offensive line has only allowed 1 sack, according to Pro Football Focus, in terms of the sacks, and Daniels has taken 9. They've only assigned 1 to the offensive line. Where do they rank, you ask? Let me tell you. They are the number 3 rushing offense, 170 yards a game, 5 yards a carry. They are the number 12 pass offense. They are the number 6 overall offense, and they are averaging, 30.2 points per game. They have not scored fewer than 20 points in a game yet this year. As we know, the Browns have not scored 20 points in a game this year. They're averaging 382 total yards per game. The Browns are the only team that have not put up 300 yards in a game. We're going to see G-Man when he gets back. We're going to get that question to G-Man.
Little boy Gabriel.
A few more stats now.
Consecrated here.
Watch. Let him watch. Let him learn.
All right, he's back. What do you
They've
want to
thrown
know?
the fewest interceptions in the league. They've fumbled 4 times, but have not lost 1 yet. So they put the ball on the ground once every game. They're averaging 24 first downs a game. That's second. They are the number 1 third down offense in the league. They're the number 1 fourth down offense in the league. 6 for 6 on fourth down, 23 of 43. So if you do the math, that really means they're 29 out of 43, which is outrageously high. G-Man.
Gabriel.
What do you got for him?
Terry McLaurin has caught 2 of Jaden Daniels' 3 passing touchdowns. Who has caught the 3rd?
De'Ami Brown?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is a hell of a pull, by the way.
That's
Strike
pretty
1.
good, De'Ami Brown. We
We talked about De'Ami Brown. That was part of the
Yeah,
signs.
We liked him.
He was
Yeah,
number 2.
He was number 2. He's part of the signs. Yeah, he's not good. There's no way the G-Man. Come on.
Zacchaeus?
Good guess. Second leading receiver on their team. Also incorrect. The answer, the man who caught the first touchdown from Jaden Daniels in what is looking to be a Hall of Fame career through 4 games.
It is, yeah.
In his 7th season out of Grambling State, he weighs 320 pounds.
Oh,
He
that's
stands
right.
6 feet, 5 inches. He wears number 73 in an homage to the Hoff.
Yep.
Trent Scott.
Big man touchdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do they call it? A thick 6.
Thick 6. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
pretty
that's
great.
who they are on offense. So where do we match up, and maybe where can we? We're number 10 pass defense. We're the number 11 total defense. We have 3 fumble recoveries already. That is second in the league. So we need some more of those. And third down conversions. We are the number 7 third down defense. So there's going to be some give and take. Now it's interesting because when you play a quarterback that can run, if you play man, you typically have to dedicate a spy to him, which takes away one of your middle zone defenders. It'll be interesting to see how we combat that. Do we play more zone? Now, he is number 1 in the league against zone defense. He's number 2 in the league against man defense.
It's a crazy start to a career, man.
It feels like he's putting up the kind of numbers that you would expect, like if you were playing Madden. Not even this incarnation of Madden. Well, no,
the one
more,
where
he'd have more picks.
What's he got? He's got 3 touchdowns. He'd have 6 picks.
Yeah.
Completing 84% of his passes.
Yeah.
If it was now Madden is how that would look. As you were going through that, the thing that struck me is how, especially when Eckler's there and healthy, they have so many weapons that are dangerous. Not in terms of so many Oh,
Give
you
it.
see me? I didn't touch anything. Not in terms of I'm not touching anything. I'm just sitting here.
No, I know. I'm baffled as to why that
I don't
would
know.
even happen.
I don't know. I don't even know what he did.
Is there any chance your knee hit the box?
No.
The cough box?
No, the box
nowhere
is
near
over
it.
here.
Yeah, it's clear.
I'm
over
just
here.
saying, like, I've done that before. I'm just
don't know.
asking.
Well, you have big legs.
You're a bigger man.
Thick 6.
That's right. Not that they have so many weapons, but rather the way I should have phrased it is they have an ultra dangerous weapon at every position group. McLaurin, you've got Robinson and Eckler out of the backfield, and then Daniels at quarterback. So you have
And
something, and Ertz, yeah. So you have things in the passing game that you have to plan for.
Yep.
Things in the running game, both power with Robinson and then also out of the backfield with Eckler, and then Daniels, you have to fear him both ways.
Yes. No, they're
So it's not an overwhelming amount of talent like San Francisco, where you go, my God, they got Pro Bowlers everywhere. It's not like that, but they are dangerous at every single position grouping.
They are, and that's why they have been pretty darn effective. They just are. They are efficient, and they are good. That's exactly what it's. Look
This
at him
is,
on
I mean,
a Thursday. This is a
like
business.
he's going
Thursday.
to a gala.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look at this, a
Look at
dark
him.
suit,
How
a
about
nice
it?
point
Hold on,
over here.
I think can we get that? Maybe we're gonna get.
You'll get one right through here.
I want it right here.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, that's
What a
good.
time to be alive. Boy, a nice dark suit with a crisp white shirt.
You love to see it.
That's gorgeous.
By the way, NFL rumors, some news right
Oh,
here.
baby. Oh, baby.
Posting Malik Neighbors will be out this week. That's sad. He was the sign and caught a touchdown.
I'd be curious what happens with that line. I'm pretty sure that was Seattle -6. Without Malik Neighbors, the Giants cannot throw the ball forward.
Correct.
So
Could be a big
that could go
Wandale
to-
Robinson game.
That
though.
could go to a 10.5
Could be a lot of Wandale.
pretty quickly if
Yeah.
they don't have an ability to
also
throw the football.
Also, some news
Okay.
from Andrew Siciliano.
Oh, what's he up to?
New job, new pod. Join me every week for my view from the Browns booth on the Bark Tank.
There you go.
Episode 1 has dropped. Check it out.
There we go. Not right now, though.
No, not later.
Later.
Hopefully
later.
he has to say we bark together at the end of the
That's
bark
what I
in
want
the
him
Bark
to do.
Tank.
Yeah, I want him to
I
do
had
that.
to do that for many years.
Yeah.
It was a dark time.
I think you used to.
It was we bark together on the Dog Pound Report. I used to say that to close the show.
It's fantastic.
It was mandated.
I believe you.
I know you do.
We'll do 4 downs around college football coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Howard Hanna, the official real estate provider of your Cleveland Browns. When it comes to buying and selling, you're going to need a reliable team to guide you through the process. As the market leaders in Northeast Ohio, more buyers and sellers trust Howard Hanna to their home team. Save time and money. Visit howardhanna.com/go Browns today. So the bad news is we have this. The good news is I think I know what is going on. So bear with me. Yep. All right. So there's a cord underneath here that if my leg brushes up against it, it shorts.
So it's the second cord. It's not the primary cord. So there's a cord that goes to the box and one from the box to the microphone.
The second cord is now the sign.
The second cord is now the sign. It's this
What
cord
are you
right
looking
here.
at, by the way?
It's this
Zakura?
one. This one. This is it. The one that goes into the back. It's got a short in it down here.
I'm looking at you.
I know. You're giving me evil
A
stink
little
eye.
bit of stink eye here.
No, I'm not.
Well, we sussed it out. We got it figured out. Now, hey, step 1, find the source of the problem.
Step 2, eliminate the problem.
Give me the update on Eddie LeBaron.
Not related, and he broke both of his wrists and missed the entire basketball season, much to the chagrin of the head coach.
And tell the folks what my response to that was.
His definitive nature of his answer makes you skeptical.
And believe that perhaps it was his offspring.
In fact, he was.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
He's a great athlete.
Yeah,
I need
and
to see a picture of
it
the
would
other guy.
all line in.
He
It would
was
all
a,
line up.
Eddie LeBaron was a good looking guy. He was like dark hair.
The one at
tall,
Moreau?
One
or
at Moreau.
So was the other one.
Well.
How about it? Hey.
Hey.
Come on. All right, Gibby, you ready? 4 downs.
Sure.
Ooh,
First
yes.
and foremost, our good friend John Keim in Washington with some injury updates. As
Go.
The commies are on the field. By the way, Keim, I reached out to you. What's going on?
Yeah, he loves us. He's a
I
Clevelander.
have
He's
emailed him. I have texted him. I go, is everything all right?
is
everything good?
He's Mr. Ohio.
Dang.
Loves the
Yeah.
Buckeyes, loves the Gardos.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just making sure you're good. Shouting him out. I know he's got family here.
Yeah, he's our guy.
Reach out to him. We're trying to get him. Running back Austin Eckler working today with no yellow jersey. That must mean no contact. Guard Nick Allegretti, also out here in uniform for individual work. Brian Robinson not out there practicing. Was a DNP on Wednesday as well because of his knee.
Interesting.
Something to monitor.
Yeah, no, that's significant if he is out because Eckler is obviously very good and certainly can carry the load, but Eckler and McNichols run in a very different style than Brian Robinson Jr., who
He's
is
a punisher.
who is a punishing physical runner.
Yep.
All right, little college football
Let's do it.
4 downs with Uncle Bo and a little help from college football expert Nathan Zagura.
Yes.
Hit it, Kev.
First down.
Fact or
Facts
fiction,
or
Alabama should be the number 1 team in the country after beating Georgia. Nathaniel.
Come on. That's an outrageous thing. A lot went right for them. They got it done. It was a thrilling game. They scored too soon, then Georgia scored too soon, and they scored again. Are they a good team? Yes, but they've got their flaws. They're not going to get to be at home in that unbelievable raucous environment every single week. They're not the number 1 team in the nation, not by a long shot. That's the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes have a professional football team. It's $32 million on the payroll. They are not losing to any. Jeremiah Smith would smack that guy. Very incredible receiver.
Yeah.
17 years
Smack him.
old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what?
Wow.
Not J.J. Smith.
No. And by the way, I was right. Georgia had more to lose in that game than Alabama. I was right about that. Turns out.
Nathan, I do have to ask.
Betty,
At any
that was
point, did you watch any of the game? Because I know you had obligations.
I think you said you watched the fourth quarter, right?
I watched the first quarter, and then I was like, oh, it's 28-0. I don't need to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got to dinner, all of a sudden, I was like, whoa, look at the
Look at
score
that,
here.
yeah.
Then I had a tequila sipper and sat down and took in some great college football, as I'm known to do on a Saturday.
Good.
Yeah.
I love your preparation.
No, they should be the number 1 team in the country. It was if
That is blasphemy.
If it goes the other way, and they give up that entire lead, I don't even like the amount of lack of confidence around that program in Tuscaloosa would have been nuts to go be up 30-3 and to blow it. So the fact they won was quite good for Kalen DeBoer. He needed it.
Yes, he needed it.
And so there was so much pressure on him at Alabama to try to get that win. Georgia will be fine. They play Texas a little bit later. You have to reward teams for what happens week to week in college football. The Buckeyes haven't been tested yet. Buckeyes go to Oregon in a couple weeks. They got Iowa tomorrow, or on Saturday rather. The Oregon test will be interesting, but Alabama has went out of conference and beat Wisconsin, and then they beat Georgia, who was the number 2 team in the country and the most dominant program in the last 3 or 4 years, and they beat them. So yeah, they're deserving number 1.
Next,
second down.
Are you hearing this, S?
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure he'll be blowing up Bo here in a few minutes.
I had him 4. I had the Bucks 4 in the mornings.
So you have Alabama 1. Who's 2?
Texas.
Texas drops.
Yeah, because Texas' best win is at Michigan.
They haven't had to play, but
the
you've
Georgia
only played
win
on the schedule, Bo.
I understand, but it's
Arch
fluid.
Manning.
It doesn't have to be locked in. Like you don't get to keep it till forever.
Have you seen
like
how
it should be week
personable
to week.
Arch is?
He's very personable. He's not really. The other kid is too. So Bama, Texas. I have Tennessee 3rd because they win and Norman, and they absolutely hammered NC State.
They did.
Ohio State. They're as talented as anybody. They just haven't played anybody.
I have Oregon 5. You?
Georgia or Oregon, yeah.
Second down, who has been the most impactful freshman to their respective team? Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, or someone else? Nathan.
Jeremiah Smith. Teams are starting to tank right now for Jeremiah Smith in 2027. They're laying out plans of how can we be bad in 2026 instead of like the 3-year plan being about how can we be good.
Yeah.
How can we be bad
Yep.
so that we can get Jeremiah Smith. He will be. I'm saying it right now. On his current trajectory, he will be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
So in order for that to happen, he would have to hold off a freshman quarterback who's currently a freshman quarterback or a redshirt freshman quarterback.
That's right.
So that could be the aforementioned personable Arch Manning. If Arch Manning decides to play his entire career at Texas, which I think very much could happen based on everything I'm hearing, I don't think he will be the number 1 pick. I do think that his impact, in fact, heck, the number 1 pick might end up being the quarterback who could throw to him next year, Julian Sayin. I think Jeremiah Smith had the bigger impact, even though, I mean, the Ryan Williams
He's unreal.
touchdown catch to beat Georgia is – I've never seen anybody move like that.
He looks like a video game.
I've never seen anybody twist like that and then move counter to where they're off their bodies, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The momentum has taken it to have it move opposite of that. I've never seen that move before.
Yeah.
But I think what Jeremiah gives the Buckeyes, they're both ridiculous, but what Jeremiah gives the Buckeyes is a blanket. Jeremiah's down there somewhere to their offense. Yeah. Bama might still have that without Ryan Williams. Ohio State I don't think would have that without Jeremiah Smith.
S doesn't need to worry about Bo. He needs to be fundraising.
He's got jobs now. He's got to get it sorted out.
How about a little fundraising? Because I'm
it.
sure the current team to come back going to need some cash.
So funny. You didn't even know I'm doing this bit. I don't see any way how you could. But you just said like their payroll was $32 million, I think is what you said it was. So it started out at 13 and then went to 16, then went to 18, and then all of the people like on television are now saying 20. Then last week somebody on one of the college football morning shows said 22. So I'm doing this thing in the mornings where I just add zeros to it. So I'm like, it's a $132 million roster.
Yeah.
They spent $147 million on this roster.
Let me tell you, somebody's going to say $32 million in a few weeks, and you're going to be like, where did I hear that first?
Where did I hear that?
Right here, College Football Nate.
College Football Nate.
Next.
Locked in.
Third down.
All right. Let's see. This came from
Just
Gabe
read
here.
the first part and don't look at the.
I'm not.
All right, just
I don't
read
look
the
at this
first
rundown.
part. Read until the question mark.
Is it Genty?
Yeah.
Be the Heisman favorite right now.
Dr. Z?
Dr.
Yes.
Z.
The guy's run for, I think, something like 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns in 4 games. Am I wrong?
Where is he doing that at?
Boise State.
Which game really caught your attention?
Boise State.
What game really caught your attention?
Doesn't matter. Every game. Come on, you didn't think I had Boise State. Don't
This
chase. Don't be Rowdy Roddy Piper. Just when they think they have the answers, I change the questions. No, you asked me, where is he doing that? Boise State's where he's doing it.
It's a good job out of you.
I'll tell you what game caught my eye. Oregon Ducks in Oregon. Shootout, barn burner. They devoted all their attention there. My buddy Andrew Siciliano was on the call, and he still ran for like 800 yards.
I love college
50% of it's
Nate.
right. 50% of college football Nate is right.
Which part's wrong?
He's really
He did play Oregon.
He did play.
He plays for Boise State.
I don't think he ran for 800 yards in that game. And he does have 1,500 yards on the season.
He's got close.
He's got 845. But here's
He had 4 games.
No, he's
Do the
great.
math.
He's great. No, it's Travis Hunter right now. He's doing it right now. Then Jalen Milroe, and then this kid Genty. Genty's been unbelievable, but he's not going to win the Heisman at Boise State. And unfortunately for him, they only really play one more game against a potentially ranked team, and that's UNLV.
What he's doing, though, has a chance
awesome.
to be transformational. And every team, when they play Boise State, they have one goal in mind, stop him, and they can't.
Yeah, he was unbelievable last week against Washington State. I cannot recall Oregon what he did. I know that was a 3-point game. Oregon beat him, but I can't recall how that went.
Let's look it up. Let's look it up.
Next.
230 and 2. I'm going to say maybe
230 and 2. Is that?
hold on. The signs 230. That's too high. Jonty Ashton. Oh, I know.
I think
Ashton.
that's too high.
195 yards, and he had a 70-yard touchdown, if I recall correctly.
Nathan,
if I recall correctly, I think he had a 70-yard touchdown. I know there was a long scamper in there. I'm going to call it 70.
He had 259 and 4 scores against Washington State last weekend.
All right,
that's pretty good.
Can we verify my Oregon?
I'm getting
numbers?
there. What did you?
I think
settle
195, and he had a 70-yard touchdown.
with? You looked it up.
I didn't look.
Someone
I'm looking
texted
at
you.
our old quarterback right there.
There's no way you.
I'm looking at our old quarterback
70-yard
undercover,
touchdown.
under
He ran
disguise.
192
Yeah.
and 70.
Yeah.
Who are you texting?
College
S
football.
or the G man?
S, the G man. Nobody's
Nathan
on here.
Feinbaum.
Nobody's on here. Look at my mom's texting me that Ed LeBaron did have a son named Eddie, but it says Eddie Wayne LeBaron. And I said, but he wasn't known as Wayne. So there you go. So that's what I was looking at. I got the numbers.
It's Eddie LeBaron comes back in.
Thank God. We needed this today like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, my God.
Fourth
This has
down.
been my favorite segment of the week.
Feinbaum Jr., are you buying or selling the Hurricanes?
Oh, no, I'm buying. The U's back. Alonzo Highsmith was there. I think he's in New England now. Has he left them?
I don't know.
But
Yes,
the U's back.
He's in New England.
The U's back. You know, the other day I was talking to a good personal friend who is in football. I mean, we're talking about a football mind.
Football mind, yep.
I mean, he at one hobnobbed with luminaries for a great many years. And he was like, Clemson's back. And you know what I said? Beat the U.
Beat the U.
Then
You
talk
did-
to me.
You did say that.
Yeah, then talk to me.
They are. In this sense. He's right in this sense. Talk to you. Beat
I'm on
Clemson.
fire.
Beat Clemson, and then we'll be in the mix. It's all Cam Ward. They're entirely dependent on him.
Is he a top 10 pick?
Do you know where they are this weekend? Miami?
I know where the city's located.
Huge ACC
tilt.
rivalry game. Huge ACC rivalry game.
Georgia Tech.
Can I interest you in Cal, the home of one Gerard Cherry?
ACC rivalry
Aaron
game.
Rodgers, Gerard
Berkeley.
Cherry.
Cal's in the ACC?
Yes.
Yeah, and Stanford. Yeah.
That's outrageous. The Big
It's
Ten
so
should have
stupid.
taken both of them. It's
Of course
outrageous.
they should have. Yeah.
Stanford adds so much prestige to your conference just by having Stanford.
Well, and it would have, on a very serious note, they might as well have taken Oregon State and Washington State too, and just had an East and West version of the league.
Yes.
And it would have saved all the non-revenue sports.
The
'cause That's
Beavers?
going to be a disaster. You know that College Game Day is going to that game, so they'll be at Berkeley. It's the first time they've ever been at Berkeley, and Berkeley is one of like 3 or 4 places left that they've never been to.
It's not a great stadium. It's like cut into a hill.
I think it's pretty cool. I did that.
It looks
hike-
cool.
I did that hike up
I bet it's not
behind
that
it.
big.
It's not. I bet it's like 50-some, 60 maybe. But there's a place you can park on that road there behind it, and you can hike up to those trees up top and look down.
Yeah.
Gorgeous view.
A lovely perch.
Yeah, it's nice. I liked it.
When Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff were slinging the pillow around.
Gerard Cherry.
Gerard Cherry, Marshawn Lynch, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, they had some. When Tedford was there, they had some dudes. He really did. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland, Good Karma Brand Station, WKNR, ESPN Cleveland. All right.
This could be college football day.
Are we good on that? We're good? Everybody's
Bishop
good?
and
This segment
college
is
football
blossoming.
It really is. Browns fans, check out Vivid Seats official fan experience packages for this season's home games. If you purchase Vivid Seats Terrace Experience, you also score pregame field passes, all-inclusive food and beverage, and more. Visit vividseats.com today to learn more. Second hour of the program coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Boost your game day this season with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Place your first bet at $25, get $150 back in bonus bets. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland football Browns. This from Scott Petrak. Not practicing today, David Njoku plans to rest after practicing on Wednesday. James Hudson on a shoulder, Jordan Hicks on ribs, elbow, and tries, and Alex Wright, of course, who we said earlier in the show is done for the year. Returning to practice, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, Jed Wills, Jack Conklin, Ethan Posick, and Obo Okoronkwo. So there you go.
Yes, I think it's in play to have Jed Wills at left tackle. I think Ethan Posick's in line to start at center. And then we'll see right tackle, whether that is, DeJuan Jones or could that be Jack Conklin on the right side as he makes his return. And I think those are the things that the Browns, these are the questions that need to be answered here over the next couple of days.
Time to enter the podium. It's presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. It is the man who returned to practice yesterday. He's back out there today. The 2-4 is back. Here is Nick Chubb from the podium.
Goes down almost 9 minutes.
Going through football drills in an actual practice.
Yeah, it felt good. You get back out there with the guys. It's been almost a complete year, so it's been a long time of me not being out there. So it felt great to get out there.
How's the knee feel? Did it feel normal out there?
It felt good. I've been doing things on my own for a while now, so I've been used to everything I've done out there. But it feels good.
Were you battling any rust yesterday? Like getting back, just kind of in the drills?
Maybe a little bit. I haven't been with Deuce yet. Deuce he's a different animal, so his drills are a lot different than what we've done in the past. So just getting used to that.
How big, how monumental is it for you, for everything that you have been through since that day in week 2 this year, just to step out there and rejoin a practice?
Yeah, it didn't feel real. Felt like a dream. Felt like I've been battling this for a while now, so it was great to get all that off my shoulders and finally get back out there.
Nick, I know a couple months ago when you spoke to us, you said that you didn't really have a time frame, but in the back of your mind, was it always the hope that you'd get back around this part of the season?
I was just hoping to get back at some point. I never had a date set in mind. Just whenever I felt good and was available to go out there, I was going to try to go, and that's right now.
How many weeks of practice do you think you need?
Whenever I feel good.
How much are you looking forward to? I mean, this is weird, but how much are you looking forward to getting hit again? Kind of feeling that contact again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I told the defense that I'm up, so I got to get back in shape somehow. So I'll go against our defense, which is a great defense, so it'll give me all the looks and feels that I need.
Did it feel even better to be out there for the first time with Naheem Hines, who you've spent a lot of your rehab getting back with? Yeah,
it did feel good. I've been there with Naheem since he's been in Brown, rehabbing together almost every day, and he's come a long way. He's doing great, and it was great for both of us just to kind of come in together, deal with the same thing, and then see it translate to the field at the same time.
To come back from 2 of those severe injuries like this, is there any part of you that worries about contact, especially in the lower body?
I don't think so. Once you get out there and you're running around, it's like you're 8 years old again. It's like riding a bike, and that's not something that's in my head. You can't control that, so you don't go out there and play fast.
How do you manage your own expectations about what happens as you do come back? Like not trying to do too much, put too much strain on it, and not trying to do too much when you do finally get the ball. I
just know how to be me. I don't look at expectations or. Like I always say, I just work hard and everything happens how it's supposed to happen.
Based on your conditioning and how you seem to yourself so far, do you feel like you're going to be the Nick Chubb that you know and love and expect yourself to be?
I guess we'll all find out at the same time. I don't know.
Nick, you've been at all the meetings.
Yes.
How different is this running system compared to last year?
It's a little different. We're changing things up a little bit, but I still think we have all the pieces we need to be able to run the ball good, pass the ball efficiently. It's all about us just going out there and executing it.
And running out of the shotgun predominantly, is that a difference to you?
No, it's not.
What does it mean to you? Fans run pins and needles every time you post something on social media. You put the bat signal up, they get all excited. Just what's it mean to you to have that outpouring of support and the fans just on pins and needles?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you on the field.
Yeah, it means a lot. I love it here in Cleveland. I feel the love, the support from everyone, everywhere I go, anytime I'm out or anything. I love it here, and it's definitely motivation for me to get back out there for all the fans.
When you do finally get activated, do you think that you'll have to kind of get eased in terms of your carries, or you think you're ready to just kind of go?
I have no idea. I practiced one day, so I don't know where I'm at yet. I'll get a more feel of it today, I guess, with pads on, but I'm not sure.
What's been the toughest part of this whole, 54 weeks?
Toughest part is just the mental aspect of it, this uncertainty of going through the rehab and not knowing if things will be the same. But I took it one day at a time, and I eventually got to where I wanted to be. So it's just probably the mental part of not knowing the future.
How much was it different from what you went through in Georgia?
Pretty much the same, but I think I took everything I learned from at Georgia, from going through it one time, to know how to go about it this time and know what to do more of, what to do less of, what works, what doesn't work. So I feel that definitely put me in a better position.
Knowing your mentality, do you feel like you're going to push the coaches to bring you back even sooner than they would want you to come back?
I mean, it all depends on how I feel. They told me take however long I need to. So whenever I feel great, I'll be out there.
Nick, you mentioned not knowing if everything's going to be the same coming back from this, just and sort of the mental part of it. How do you keep your confidence up and still believe that you can still be that player, especially given this is the second time? Does the first one sort of help with that, knowing that you came back and played so well?
It does. I've been through it before, but just how I deal with it, I get up every day and I go to work, and that's what's got me here. That's what's going to keep me here.
The team hasn't scored 20 points in a game. What do you see happening?
I see us hurting ourselves. The biggest thing I see, we make a big play, penalty, make a big play, drop or interception. So I think it's just us hurting ourselves.
This team obviously so much in the past. Do you feel a tremendous desire to get back there and really help this team get this thing turned around and get back on the winning track?
I do want to get on the field, but I have to, make sure I am where I need to be first. But, I'm ready to get out there and help my team win.
We talk about momentum in this game. For you, as you went through different milestones and took different strides in your rehab, was there any part of that you were like writing momentum, like, oh, I've knocked this down now?
Probably just running. I wanted to be able to get on my feet, be able to run and move how I wanted to. And so once I was doing that, I knew I would play again.
Nick, what was kind of driving you through this entire process, through this whole rehab process?
I mean, I don't know. It's what I want to do. I want to go out there and play football with my teammates. I want to go out there and be good at it. So that's just the burning desire in me.
I remember that during minicamp you said, I've been counted out before. Do you know of anybody that's come back from this injury twice and is about to accomplish what you are?
I can't name anyone off the top of my head.
Look, I know it's obviously unknowable how exactly you're going to do once you get out there, but your teammates have said, especially the other guys in the running back room, that they think you're going to be the exact same guy, that they think you are the exact same guy. Does that give you added confidence that they're behind you like that?
Yeah, it does. Those are my guys. This is like the third different running back room I've had since I've been here. So I appreciate those boys. They've been working hard themselves, and it's been an honor watching them practice and play, and just to grow.
You said
two more.
Deuce is a little different. What's so different about him? What was it like going through your first practice with him?
He's just very intense. Deuce thinks he still plays, and so he takes it out on us. And his individual is just nonstop. It's always moving, it's always training. But that's what we need.
In watching Deshaun through these first 4 games, what have you seen in Deshaun in making his comeback from surgery, and what do you think the outlook is going to be?
Yeah, he's a fighter. That's one thing about Deshaun. He's going to go out there and compete and give it his all every time he steps on the field. And I think we all need to, do a little more for him and for our team this week and going on, just to make sure we are prepared.
What do you think about Jerome's development? Obviously, you guys started in together last year, and now you've watched him take it.
Yeah. I mean, Jerome has came a long way, and he's doing a very good job in practice and in the meeting room. He's always paying attention. He knows what's going on. He's aware. And on the field, I mean, he's probably one of the fastest guys on the team. He's a very good player.
Mari said he's never seen any of the Batman movies.
Yeah, that's a shame. He should.
All right, there you go. Nick Chubb from the podium. Leaf Filter, the official gutter guard of your Cleveland Browns. Go to leaffilter.com/GoBrowns. Schedule your free gutter inspection and to receive your exclusive promo offer. That's leaffilter.com/GoBrowns. It is great to hear from Nick Chubb. Coming up next, we'll do the matchup side of things. Our offense versus the Commanders' defense. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are you ready to give your home the facelift it deserves at Renew Home Exteriors? They've got the deal that you've been waiting for, guys. Right now, no money down. Get 0% interest, 5 years on all roofing and siding jobs. Combine your roofing and siding projects, and Renew's going to take an additional 5% off. That's right, no money down, 0% interest for 5 years, and 5% off when you knock out both jobs at once. Don't wait. Upgrade your home. Save big with Renew Home Exteriors. Visit RenewEstimate.com to book today. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, and superior service. Time for a little matchup. Our offense versus the Commies defense. For the details, we turn it over to Dr. Z.
All right, this is not a great defense. 25th in points per game allowed, 25.5. They are 23 against the rush, giving up 5.3 yards per carry. They are 22nd against the pass. but they've given up 10 touchdowns without an interception, 27th in total yards. Like I said, no picks, and they are the worst third down defense in the league, giving up 55% completions. In terms of positions against them, quarterbacks completing 72% of their passes, 8 yards an attempt, 10 touchdowns. That's the most in the NFL. 0 interceptions. You guessed it. That's the fewest in the NFL. And quarterbacks are averaging 123 rating. That is the most in the league. Every quarterback, 4 for 4, have had a 100 or more rating against Washington. There have been one 300-yard game. That's Joe Burrow, threw for 324 and 3 touchdowns. There have been 3 games in which a quarterback has thrown for 2 touchdowns against them. The running backs have lit them up. 122 yards per game. That's 4th. 5.36 yards per carry. That is 2nd. They had a running back who has rushed for at least 90 yards in every game. A running back has a touchdown rushing in 3 straight, and they have allowed one 100-yard rusher. That was James Conner last week. Receivers have caught all 10 of the touchdowns. That is the most in the NFL. Wide receivers have a touchdown in every game. They have 2 or more in 3 games. They've allowed 2 100-yard receivers with a touchdown, Neighbors and Chase, and the opposing number 1 receiver has a touchdown in every game. So it should be a good Amari Cooper game for you there. This is a team that has the middle of the field open, so that's 2 high safeties. 57% of the time, that's 5th most in the NFL. They play more cover 2 than anybody in the NFL. When you think Dan Quinn, you think Seattle, you think of the cover 3.
Yep.
But they have not been a huge cover 3 team, middle of the league there. They play a lot of cover 2, percentage-wise, cover 6, and then even 2-man, which is man with 2 deep safeties. So middle of field open, where will the vulnerabilities be on that? Those hole shots on the outside, like corner routes in between the dropping corner and the safety, and then obviously you can work the seam against them and bending routes behind the linebackers in those windows. But they've got 2 very good linebackers in the middle of their defense. Frankie Louvu, he's had back-to-back 100-tackle seasons. He's playing very well. And then there's Bobby Wagner, surefire Hall of Famer, 9 Pro Bowls, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 4-time second-team All-Pro, 100 or more tackles in all 12 NFL seasons. He's just an absolute stud. Already has 38 tackles on the season. On the other side, Louvu has 30. They are excellent, and they're just great up the middle. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, they got a pair of Pro Bowl defensive tackles who can get after the quarterback. Dorrance Armstrong, unfamiliar to G-Man, but familiar to the people that have played. He's played so far this year. 2 sacks. He has a forced fumble, 7 quarterback hits already. He had 16 sacks over the last 2 seasons, so he's been good. And then they've got 2 former first-round picks, 2 former 4th overall picks. Cleveland Farrell, but he's been out with a knee, but he has 2 sacks in 2 games. And then Dante Fowler, the former 4th overall pick, who had 11.5 sacks with the Rams, was with Dan Quinn in Dallas a year ago. So talent up front. At the back end, though, that's where they struggle. Listen to the quarterback completion percentage and quarterback rating of their 3 top corners. Mike Sanistril from Michigan, Sanistril from Michigan, 80%, 145 rating, 3 touchdowns. Benjamin St. Juice, 66% completions, 3 touchdowns, 126 rating. Emmanuel Forbes, 83%, 104 rating. And then Noah Igbenogany, there it is. 60% completions, 2 touchdowns, 107.5. Their safeties are both giving up. One's giving up 158.3 rating. Yes, that's perfect. The other, Jeremy Chin's giving up 119. So, I mean,
go make plays, baby. They're there to be made.
They're there to be made. Got to protect. They can get off the quarterback. They've struggled. It's surprising to me that they have not been a good run defense so far. Part of it's they're a little light on the edges. Armstrong's 255, Fowler's 260, Cleveland Farrell's 260. So you can push them around a little bit on the edges, and that's what the Browns are going to have to do if they want to go. Running up the middle, I think, will probably be tough with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne there.
Yep. Great job out of you.
Yeah, so they've got, what's interesting, how about this? They've got Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Their backup defensive tackles are Jerzon Newton, who is at Illinois, who was their 2nd-round pick this year. And their other backup tackle is Fedarian Mathis, who was their 2nd-round pick in 22. So a lot of investment, obviously, in that line.
Yeah, that's kind of been – I mean, they drafted Sweat. Like, they've had a bunch of those guys that have come through.
Imagine if they had Sweat right now.
Yeah, true. Yeah. All right, there you go. Your Fantasy Minute coming up next. In addition to that, your mailbag. Before we get to that, Elk & Elk, Serious Lawyers, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Listen to CBD on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And the future of recycling is here. Rumpke Waste Recycling is leading the way. Their new $100 million recycling facility is North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center of its kind. It's built right here in Ohio. Learn more by visiting rumpke.com. Time for your Fantasy Minute, presented by Scale Co., proud capital investment partner of your Cleveland Browns. A month down, buddy. Some trends starting to develop. Who do you like?
All right, start with the quarterbacks as we always do. You know, obviously, if you have Lamar and Allen and Burrow, Daniels, I think those are all must-starts. Now Brock Purdy's a must-start. I love Justin Fields against Dallas this week without both of their edge rushers. Kyler Murray against the Niners should have to put the ball in the air quite a bit. Sam Darnold in a revenge game against the Jets. He's been playing phenomenally well. And Baker Mayfield, who not only is a very charismatic comedian going undercover, but has been a good fantasy quarterback. I think those guys are all guys you can start kind of behind them. Geno Smith has played very well. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba getting more involved. Those are some of the quarterbacks that you look at. Running backs this week, some names maybe that are not high up on your list, but probably should be. Chuba Hubbard at this point. He's a full-time featured back for Carolina. Now, they're going to get Jonathan Brooks back at some point. We'll see when that is, but right now it's the Chuba Hubbard show, so roll with him. DeAndre Swift showed a lot of signs of life. I'm comfortable going with him. Jerome Ford. I like our own Jerome Ford this week. So he's talked about running back has scored in 3 straight games against Washington. Jerome Ford has at least 60 yards from scrimmage in every game. He's coming off a career-high 7 catches. So especially if you're in a PPR game, PPR league, he can help you in that regard. Names to keep an eye on. Javonte Williams finally showed some signs of life. He's got a great matchup with Las Vegas. I think he could be good. And then there's talk coming out of New England that they're going to bench Ramondre Stevenson because he's fumbled in each of the first 4 games. So that would put Antonio Gibson up. And in a PPR league, he catches the ball well. He's somebody certainly to give a look to.
All right, there you go. Your Fantasy Minute with Dr. Z. One more note.
Give him a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more.
Oh,
wide
okay.
receiver.
Right,
yeah, we're not done yet. We're not done
I
yet.
thought you were, the way that you finished that, it felt there was a pause.
Yeah, I didn't know if you.
I sensed that maybe that you.
No,
were
you were
done.
right. I was
Okay.
kind of pausing, thinking you'd be like, "All right, what about wide receiver?" But then, why would you do that?
Hey, Nate, what about wide receiver?
There you go. Brian Thomas Jr. We saw it when we were down.
Yeah,
the
he's
guy's
real.
a star. Play him. I think he's at the point where he's an every week start. Sounds like Malik Neighbors will be out. Wan'Dale Robinson in a PPR league is going to get probably 12 catches. So he may only get 12 catches for 40 yards, but it doesn't matter when you get a point per catch. You can go with him there. Jaden Reed must start at this point. Whenever Jordan Love's on the field, he goes over 100 yards. Dontavian Wicks also in that game is somebody who could be on your waiver wire. Pick him up. You can play him this week as well. And I love Amari and I love Judy for us in this week. Tight ends. Washington's been tough on tight ends, but if you've been waiting for the Chief, you can go ahead and get him in there. Jake Ferguson for Dallas against Pittsburgh with Cooks out. He's really the second option there. Evan Ingram should be back finally. Get him in the lineups. Freiermuth is starting to play pretty well, and somebody that you can get into your lineups as well from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there you go.
Good job out of you. All right, time for the mailbag. It's presented by the Cross Country Mortgage Company, official mortgage partner of your Cleveland Browns. When it comes to financing, they're always going to get you home. Visit ccm.com today for more. Equal housing opportunity, NMLS 3029. Hello, Gibby.
Gentlemen, hi. You can tweet your questions to @Browns_daily.
Yes,
Many
you
of
can.
you have. Let's get down to it.
Let's go.
Tommy Clayco has a couple of them.
Okay.
Question for Z and Peepaw Gibby: is there a part of the Washington trip you enjoy the most?
No.
Yes, when we stay in Annapolis, but we're not staying in Annapolis.
Annapolis is
Or
so-
if we're
Hold
staying
on a
across
second.
from the White House.
Yeah, when we were at the JW Marriott, it was amazing.
Yep. No, we're not staying there either. So
You guys aren't in D.C. this time
No.
around?
No, we're out at the University of Maryland.
Landover.
Ah. Kind of a decent little campus.
Maryland's
Not
on a
bad.
bye week. I was kind of hoping maybe for a little Big Ten
get to
foosball.
see a little foosball? No. Yeah, that's
Fine.
That's
Stadium sucks. It is what it
stadiums.
is.
Yeah, stadiums not great. I love DC. I find
I
it
love
infectious.
the nation's capital.
Is it?
Yeah, a lot of history. I worked on the Hill for many a summer.
Every time I go there, I'm inspired by the history.
Did you ever live there?
No,
I lived there for
my uncle lived there for years.
a bunch
on,
of summers
on the Hill.
My
on
father
Hay
was
Street.
stationed there, Army.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's a lot to.
There's a lot to do
like.
there.
Lot to
Absolutely.
like. I like it.
Part 2 from him. Which Browns player on IR do we miss the most?
I mean, does he mean like just hurt that we
Yes.
miss the most?
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Next, Juan Thornhill.
The thing with Chubb is, we were talking about it offensively for us. Like right now, there isn't anything to fear for us offensively. If a healthy Nick Chubb is there, then you have something to fear.
Yep.
Because at any moment, that can go to the barn. I think Judy's right there. We just haven't unlocked that yet, but he's been the most consistent weapon.
He's been very good.
But with Nick Chubb, then you got something to deal with.
Enough from the clown.
Your boy, Gibby.
Then there's this guy.
Enough from the clown's on fire today.
Yeah.
He's good every day.
Yeah. Are you employed? What do you got going on? Other than being
he
on
should
this,
be. I think he's got C level written all over him. His observations, his insightfulness is sharp, very
I think
sharp.
It's a Gurr's burner.
I think he's on the way to being a luminary. Okay. Just a matter of time till he's running a company. Probably already is. Owns
Should
several.
be. Yeah.
Best autumn adult beverage.
That's when you get into. For me, that's when I would get into. I prefer an old fashioned and all of these things. Come the fall and winter.
Cooler winter.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to start getting into your maple old fashions. That starts to come, get a little crisp in the air on that. Another one I make this time of year is I will take, as obviously you go to whether you go to Patterson's or any of those type of things, I'll go and I'll grab that apple cider.
Yep.
Then I will use the apple cider as the substitute in the old fashioned. So instead of the simple syrup and that, I will go with the apple flavor, and that's a real delight, especially in a weeded bourbon. That would be a smooth pop.
Nate Flint tweets the show, best spots to eat in downtown Cleveland.
I always hate this because I don't want to
shortchange anybody.
No, and also I don't want to leave somebody out.
No, but I'll give Marble Room, whatever Luca is called now, the one on the viaduct.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great restaurant. I think it's got a new name. Maybe it's Luna something maybe now, but it used to be Luca.
Fahrenheit.
There's a lot. Fahrenheit, yeah. Rocco is great. There's a lot of good food downtown, honestly. We're very lucky. There's great Italian places that are down there. What used to be Aqua de Luca, but maybe it's Aqua de Luna now. Town Hall is always a fun spot. That's like a vibey spot, I think, if you come into town. Walk through the West 25th Market.
Yep.
The West Side Market. Very cool.
That whole area, there's a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Lots of them there.
Lago,
yeah. Fabio.
Highly
yes.
underrated.
Lago's great. And right next to it, Sora. Isn't Sora the sushi place right next to it?
Yes.
Also
Fantastic.
delicious.
Yeah,
we're lucky. This is a very good food city.
And a lot of the different regions have good food, too.
Yeah.
A lot of the suburbs, a lot of the
course.
spots, University Circle, all of that. A lot of good ones.
I'm going through some questions here.
You got one from Tyvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm not seeing it.
Let's say Nathan was doing a tag team match for the championship. He could only choose one to team up with. Who is he picking between Bo, Gibbs, or Tyvis?
I would assume and hope that you would pick the former NFL player.
This is what you do. This is how I already know how to. All right, you give me your answer on how to handle this, and I got an answer.
You are a gentleman and a scholar and a lover and all of those things. You don't need to get in the squared circle.
No.
So I'm going to eliminate you just on your greatness.
I appreciate that.
So then
Bo should be the manager.
Bo would be a great manager. Now you're talking.
Yeah, see?
Then it comes down to the former professional athlete, which is I feel very good about. Tyvis feels like a great choice. But there's something about Gibbe that makes me think somebody would have to kill him to pin him. And he will not play by any rules.
No rules?
No rules. So the question is,
an unbelievable heel.
If it's a match where there are rules, Tyvis 100%. 100%. But if it's a match in which there are no rules, where anything goes, and you can be as depraved and as diabolical and insane as possible, give me the big man.
I could put together a package here where I am a Jimmy Hart, Bobby the Brain Heenan type, Eric Bischoff type.
Like it.
You two are heels together.
Yeah.
And he's a face. And we're going up against him.
Against who?
Tyvis. He's on the other side of it.
I mean,
I love him to death. He's my intern.
I also think there's a faction where you're the mouthpiece me and Tyvis are the tag team and the heels, and then Gibbe is like what Kevin Nash was when he was like Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, and he's just like the big
looming?
the big muscle who he'll get involved
if he needs to.
That's probably that's probably the answer.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Yeah.
Breaking bottles.
Yes.
Threatening to cut
That's
you
what I
open
want
with
out
a
of you.
bottle
We'll
of
distract the
glass
ref, and then
shards
Gibbe
done.
will do something completely
just
insane.
nefarious,
Yeah.
and then just laugh at the audience that is watching in horror as he's done whatever he's done.
Oh, yeah.
Just yuck it up.
The
Yeah.
dastardly
Exactly.
nature
Tell them all
of
their number
Gibbe's.
one.
Hey, how is the McMahon doc? Did you finish it?
I'm through 3.5 episodes. Great.
Marshall sent a tweet
It
asking that.
is great. Highly recommend it. I thus far have not learned much because I'm kind of very immersed and ensconced in that world and dialed in.
What a saunter. Can't even give a look over.
There he is. There he is.
You got to get it moving.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's got his.
He looks great. You look great.
Clouds. Nice coordination there from the bottom to
Yeah,
the
it
top.
all works.
Same
It's a good
colors.
match.
Yeah, good
not
match.
swag level, but he's not.
No.
No.
Oh, a little southpaw. I don't know about that move.
I don't know about that either.
I don't even know what I was saying now. I've been distracted by
That was
Scarlet.
a lot going on there.
What was I saying, Gibbe?
I don't know.
Oh, that. It's,
the doc.
Yeah, it's very entertaining though.
Yeah.
And he has
It's 6 parts, right?
6 parts.
Yeah.
There are once the big allegations came out, he refused to do any more interviews. So gives a disclaimer. These interviews were all conducted kind of before that.
Before that, yeah.
But he basically, there are certain things that he goes through, and he's like, "Yeah, I have no regrets for anything." He is.
It's exactly how you think you'd be. I think
He is, and his business savvy and acumen and his ability. One of the things that makes such a great heel is that they believe what they're saying is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a juxtaposition of how he kind of raided all the territories and brought all their best guys in the WWF and made it the national company and as big as it was. And then when Ted Turner came in and raided him, he was like, "This is a billionaire picking on a little family business."
Yeah.
And how they point that out to him, and it's hilarious. He's like, "That's not the same at all." No, I don't see that at all.
It's not a lie if you believe it, Jerry.
That's right.
Bobby time.
Bobby!
Hey, Bobby!
Your favorite Batman movie? I think I got to go Michael Keaton.
I'd have to go Keaton or
the one with the Joker is pretty unbelievable. When Ledger's the Joker.
When he
Is that the Dark
Who
Knight?
was Batman in that?
Christian
Bale.
That's probably the best movie of all of them. Was that one? The one that feels most like what it seemed like to me as a kid was the Keaton one.
Yes.
Yes.
And I also liked, even though I think it was considered to be a failed turn as Batman, but I enjoyed Val Kilmer.
That was a really good one because the Riddler's in that one.
Yeah.
He was pretty strong.
Penguin, right?
No, Penguin was
who's
in.
Penguin with?
Penguin's with Keaton. That one
Keaton,
was
okay.
pretty scary. I remember taking
DeVito.
my little brother, who was 7 years younger to me, to watch Batman Returns, and he was way too young to see how dark that movie was.
It was a poor choice.
Yeah, it was I remember sitting there with him going like, "Oh, this was a poor choice. This was a very poor choice what we just did." Because that was dark. That one almost had like a Temple of Doom. Remember, Temple of Doom is why they came up with PG-13 movies.
Yes,
because that was PG, and they're like, "Well, you just ripped a heart out of a living person. Like, I don't think we're going to have that PG-13." And Batman Returns had that.
So
feel
the
to it.
original is Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholas is the Joker.
Yeah. Nicholson. Jack Nicholson would be unbelievable if it was the Golden Bear.
I said,
can we
Jack
remake
Nicholson,
that right now?
And then I was reading that, and I was like,
Oh, yeah, Jack Nicholas.
Like,
the
wait a
Golden
second,
Bear.
that doesn't make
Strap
any
on- right from Augusta to filming.
The movie not only brought us an almost perfect
Very
Batman,
different
but an
movie.
equally terrific performance of Jack Nicholas as the Joker. I was like, wait, I said Jack Nicholson, and then I'm like, wait, have I had this wrong for
very
forever?
different movie.
Batman Forever.
Hey, Batman.
Batman Forever is Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that's Kilmer, Tommy Lee Jones, and Jim Carrey.
That's
as
a
the
good
Riddler.
one.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's
a very good one.
Yeah, and then the one with
Then it's
Mr. Freeze
Batman
has
and
Clooney.
Robin,
Yeah, with
which
Clooney.
is Clooney,
Schwarzenegger,
Chris O'Donnell,
Uma
and
Thurman.
Alicia Silverstone.
She was Batgirl, and then there was Uma Thurman was Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze was Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Batman Begins, Christian Bale, and that's when it got into The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rise, all of those, yeah.
More from Bobby. Your least favorite chore? I hate cleaning the bathroom.
Mine as a kid was picking up dog poop. I was like, this is ridiculous. It's natural compost. What are we doing?
I have to do that now. It ain't great.
What are we? Oh, it's the worst.
I have the extended scoop.
Yeah.
With
I
the
told you
handle.
my dog.
That's how I
growing up,
but I have no problem. I do it in the
I
morning.
do the shovel and just do it.
My dog Ivory used to think if she stuck her head into the bushes, that then her butt was also in the woods, the wilderness. No, it was just right on the concrete, right on my basketball court. So I had to clean it up.
Working really hard to get Buddy Garrity. We've been working on this for about the last 10 days. There's a location in the remote part of the property where I'm trying to retrain him to go.
Yeah.
And it requires me right now. I have to like walk out, and then I have to walk across like the landscape stuff, and then like, and then I have to keep going. And then he stops and I go, no, point, and then now he's getting over there. So now we're on to something.
You got
a little
the
bit.
treat as a reward because that's what.
He's all locked in on that. He's excited for it, and so we've identified this new spot we're going to go so that I can at least find it all triangulated in one spot.
That's what you want.
That's my hope.
Favorite cereal?
As a kid, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
As a kid, my favorites were Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms.
You and Bootsy. He'll suck down Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms was great. It was great.
Just loves it.
I used to have a lot of Captain Crunch and Crunchberry thrown down my gullet, especially when I stayed at Auntie Sue's, and I liked it, but it would always cut my mouth.
It would. You got to let it. You have to let it. Here's what you got to do with the Captain Crunch or the Crunch Berries, and Crunch Berries are superior to Captain Crunch.
Definitely.
You've got to push them, and they all float. So you have to get them submerged.
Yeah, but
and then once they submerge, then they chill out a little bit. But the first bite is going to cut the roof of your mouth off.
The other two that I really enjoyed, I liked Honeycomb. I thought Honeycomb
is underrated.
Was
dude.
a delightful cereal.
I love Honeycomb.
Yeah, Honeycomb was very good. And then and people are either in or out on it, but I liked Apple Jacks. I was in on Apple Jacks.
So I feel like Apple Jacks. The opposite of that was Super Golden Crisp, which is or Sugar Cut, whatever
I know
that is.
about.
Those guys. So
I was never into that.
We ended up with that one more than we ended up with Apple Jacks.
Yeah, I wasn't as into that. I was not. I
love
never
the Pebbles ones. I love Fruity Pebbles.
See, I was
Cocoa
never a
Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles guy. I was never Fruity Pebbles, Tricks.
Yeah. I didn't like Tricks at all, but I like Fruity Pebbles, and then I like Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles were good because it made the best milk.
Best milk. Yeah. Do you have more, Gibby?
We're up against.
Oh,
it.
sad,
there was also,
sad.
Do you remember there was a French toast cereal?
There was.
That was really good. I don't remember what it was called, but it was really
And then this
good.
time of year, you do like the
Frankenberry.
Chocula and Frankenberry and Booberry and all that.
Frankenberry
is really nice. That's a real treat.
Frankenberry was basically Lucky Charms with strawberry flavored bits.
I think you have that right. We got a score for you and so much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Hey.
Join Nathan Gerard tonight at 7 for the Kevin Stefanski Show. Coach and Grant Delpit join the guys. They get you ready for the Browns and the Commies on Sunday. Thursday Night Football, Bake and the Bucks versus the Atlanta Falcons. Dr. Z, how do you see it?
Well, I was going to ask you how you see this one.
Primetime Baker.
30.
It feels
30.
to me like,
doesn't it?
I was going to say, I don't think Kirk Cousins can't be stopped.
Or does it? Is it Kirk Cousins?
He can't be stopped.
Can't be.
Can't be. He
Can't be.
broke
It's
the
too good.
primetime curse.
Broke it. What
15.
curse?
Exactly. Say less.
Where's Eddie LeBaron? I don't know. Gone, unfortunately.
Gus Swayze.
Gus Swayze. There you go. Next Level's next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.